We've already met Kale and Melentia, but there's one last character we find in this ruined fortress. He's a character we're going to run into several more times throughout our journey in Drang Lake. He's a treasure hunter and one of our first real companions in the game. He's mild-mannered Pate.
Hello there. Traveling all alone in these treacherous times. Well, I hope you have a very good reason. Oh, hogwash. Who am I to judge? My name is Pate. I journey hither and thither on a sort of treasure hunt, you might call it. Be careful out there. There's talk of unsavory bandits who prey upon travelers like yourself. Oh yes, you be cautious if you go any farther. There's treasure in there for certain, but the entrance locks from behind. I saw the same design earlier, and it's the same contraption, I'm sure. I was with this warrior, you see, and he insisted that he go inside first. The rather brusque fellow tried to swipe the loot for himself, but it trapped him inside. I still have the gent's ring. I do hope he wasn't harmed.
So despite the danger, we venture on and try to find this treasure that Pate told us about. Now the warrior that Pate mentioned is rather important, so it's something we'll have to keep in our minds as we progress his character's storyline. As you'll see, after we complete this task, Pate rewards us with a white soapstone, which allows us to summon other NPCs and players to help us out in areas and boss fights. But as you could probably tell, some of Pate's dialogue was pretty vague, and it shows that there is an element of mystery to his character. And some of this is touched upon in the description for his spear. A long spear wielded by Pate. This appears to be a very ordinary spear, but seems to have accumulated power over the course of countless battles. It is not always advisable to stand out, especially if you have something to hide. But what does Pate have to hide, and what is his true motive? These are answers that we'll find out as we progress further in his character's storyline.
Well, I see you managed to escape. I hope that brave warrior didn't come a cropper either. Be careful out there. There's talk of unsavory bandits who prey upon travelers like yourself. Oh, but you should take this. It allows undead to call out for help to one another across the fissures between worlds. With luck, somebody will lend you a hand.
Is that... Here, let me see it, so that I may help you. To see light, to see hope, however faint it might be. That tiny thing inside the ruins. An ancient being that will mock your very existence. She imparts sound wisdom, provided you find her on a good day.
I think it's a really nice touch that we see the Hollow soldiers still fighting long after the real battle is over. As it's stated in the description for the Soldier's Key, a fort was erected in the forest to face the giants, but now the soldiers are lost and hollowed. They are enfeebled, but not without honor, and continue to steadfastly defend their country. Now, I think this is really fascinating, actually, because it shows that even if someone goes hollow, they still retain some sense of purpose, and these soldiers died fighting, defending their country, so those who go hollow aren't completely mindless husks, and they still retain some semblance of their humanity, even if their sanity, their body, their just everything good in their previous life is gone from them. They still retain some base desire to do what they did in life. So I always found that aspect of the Hollows quite fascinating, and I love how they explored that a bit in Dark Souls 2.
knew you'd be back. They say these trees grew from the remains of the giants. From each carcass sprouted new life growing into what you see now. But you know what they also say? Don't believe what an old hag says. Thank you kindly.
Bearer of less. The sign you bear will drain your very souls. And without souls, you will turn hollow. Stay strong. Do not lose hope. Even when you have precious little time.
We finally defeated our first big boss of the game, and the last giant has some really compelling ties to the lore of Dark Souls 2. Soul of the surviving giant, who was bound below the forest of the giants. The Lord of the Giants, who had brought wrack and ruin to the entire kingdom, was said to have been felled by an unknown warrior. His beaten and broken remains were then dragged beneath the stronghold, where he was sealed away. This soul description confirms that the last giant was the giant lord who led the Great War against Drangleic, and it was at the height of the conflict that King Vendrick withdrew from this war, as it's revealed in the description for the giant stone axe. King Vendrick disappeared as the war with the giants reached its ferocious peak, leaving his castle. Some swear that upon hearing the news, the queen's face remained as still as a portrait. Now, this is the first that we hear about the Queen of Drangleic, and she's a character who's going to become incredibly important to the plot of Dark Souls 2. But back to the last giant, I love how in the intro cinematic we can just see how enraged he is upon seeing us. There's something about our presence there that invigorates him to break from his bonds and even rip off his own arm in an attempt to kill us. So what could birth such a burning rage and hatred? We know that the last giant was a skilled combatant and mowed down the Drangleic forces. But after reading the lore here, you have to feel that there's something more to the last giant that we don't quite know yet. And don't worry, we're going to find out in due time.
It's high time that I pick up a move. I've a bargain for you next time we meet my lover. Thank you kindly.
Bear, lest this...